How did you find out? I don't know if I remember.
It was a long process.
Yeah.
It was many, many years of like, should we do a second one? Should we not? And that happens sometimes where you feel like it's
I think
not
it felt
actually gonna
like,
happen.
well, I'd love to be there.
Yeah.
But, you know, promises.
Yeah, and it seemed like I was in prison, so that's tricky to unwind.
Yeah.
But we unwound it. And
Yeah,
then
it was
some.
like a really long process, so I don't remember exactly, but it was a lot of like, well, they're thinking about it, and they might, and so you don't want to get too excited about something. So it was, I mean, it was a good year or two at least.
Yeah, it was a while.
And then there were like a million drafts that were all crazy, and then we filmed the craziest one.
I mean, I can speak for myself. I had so much fun on the first one, and I was like, it's gonna be hard for the next one to be that fun because it was also like terrifying, and it's one of those things that when you look back, the scary parts felt fun, you know, like we were at the time we would look at each other and be like, are we in a drama or a comedy? Like, we don't know. We asked Paul. I was like, I think I like need to clarify, and he said yes when I said is it a drama or a comedy, which was not an answer. So it was like it was terrifying. But then like seeing the movie and seeing the outcome and like we have such fun together on camera, and I think that it's like you see that, you feel it, and so. So yeah, I was excited to do a second one, but then we got to shoot in Capri.
Yeah.
Which made it even
Bonus.
more. Yeah, really.
Yeah, when he said it in Italy, I was like, oh, so, you know, I don't know, a backlot in Atlanta or something. Yeah. So it was really great to be able to shoot there. But yeah, it was, I mean, I do think the first movie, I really can't think of a movie that's a great comp in terms of tone. Mm-hmm. Like what Paul pulled off with the tone of the first movie was such a high wire act. Mm-hmm. It was so impressive, especially considering, you know, when you think of him, you might think of, you know, Spy and The Heat and Bridesmaids, and, you know, to like see that dark side of him was really exciting. So just excited to see more of the twisted brain of Paul Feig. Mm-hmm.
The kids were so much older. Because, like, it doesn't feel like that much time has passed.
Yeah.
And then you look at the children and you're like, oh, they're teenagers.
Yeah.
That was shocking.
Yeah, the kids, well, they're taller than me, so that was rude. Didn't appreciate that. But I mean, I think it was actually in a lot of ways very similar to the first one, mm-hmm. where in spite of making the first one and going through that whole process of going like, what movie are you in today? Mm-hmm. It still felt just as precarious. Mm-hmm. So it was weirdly like deja vu because mm-hmm. I was still like, wait, what is the tone of this scene? Mm-hmm. So but that made it exhilarating, kept us on our toes.
Yeah. Oh, he pushed them so far on his own. We read the script and we were like, oh, this is so bananas. But it sort of needs to be. Like, he just, like, took everything and just, like, elevated it. And sometimes more is just more. But it was so fun. Like, it was so fun. But I at least knew that going into the second one, you know, to sort of piggyback on what Anna was just saying, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing this time. Like, we understand the tone, we know what we're doing. And then I think the night before the first night of shooting, we were, like, in each other's hotel rooms going, like, do you know what the tone of this one is? Or, like, how do we pull this thing off?
I know, it weirdly felt just as risky as the first movie.
More?
Maybe, yeah.
More terrifying?
Maybe for you especially more. Yeah, but it did, like, there was a lot of stuff that you were like, we should know better, and we should feel like, well, the first one worked, so, you know, let's just, like, jump off the cliff together. And it was kind of just negotiating, like, okay, I guess we're doing the scene that's on the schedule tomorrow. We're just gonna wake up and shoot it. That's what we're gonna do.
But Paul is so steady. Like, he never wavers. He's just like, yeah, that's the scene. Like, he's just so, like, unaffected by how crazy it seems. So that instills a lot of confidence. And then he pulls it off, which instills even more confidence. But it is terrifying at the time. I think if he was panicking with me, it might feel better. But he's just, like, so steady, like a calm pilot. And so, yeah.
I mean, the best. Like, honestly, just the best. Like, and, you know, getting to see Henry in his, like, fully actualized actor space was so great. Because on the first movie, that was his second film. And, you know, Crazy Rich Asians was his first movie, and that hadn't even come out yet. So he was, like, amazing and, like, truly just, like, from the get-go a total movie star. But, like, I mean, I've said this before, but, like, you'd touch him in a scene and realize he was, like, shaking. And you're like, oh, of course, he's nervous because it's his second movie. And so it was really exciting to see him, like, make, like, some crazy choices and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was so fun. And Andrew is, like, what, maybe the smartest, funniest person alive. And I'm obsessed. I mean, I'm obsessed with Bashir completely. I think, like, the scene of the two of us in the first movie is, like, one of my favorite scenes in the film, and so I was just excited to hang out with him again. Honestly, he's such a fun scene partner.
I mean, honestly, there's just like not a bad person in the bunch. Like everybody, it's people from all over the world, all different ages, and it was just like we had so much fun together. Just like every day was so much fun. Also, like it felt like summer camp. Like we were in Rome. Even the Connecticut scenes were in Rome.
Oh yeah.
So Andrew was like, "This is amazing. I'm supposed to be in Connecticut, but I'm in Rome right now." But Allison's amazing. Elizabeth Perkins, McKellar. Oh, I just love him so much. Like everybody got along so well, and you can feel it. I think that you see that when you watch a movie. You can tell when people are having a great time. You can also, like, you know, pull it off when you're not, but like when that you are, you really like see that magic. And we had so much fun. And they're all so talented and so different and so dynamic. And yeah, it was just an honor each day to bounce off of so many different characters.
I mean, I like that they're both nuts. Like they're like, I don't know.
I'm more nuts presenting, and you're more like
I'm more
less
like
nuts
normal presenting, but nuts underneath.
Yes.
Like I think that's kind of my favorite thing. Like there's, you know, strong female characters, but like these women are crazy. And also, I mean, you know, you were just talking about Elizabeth Perkins and Allison Janney. It was also very like fun and inspiring to see
And
how
Elena?
much.
We never
Oh,
talked
and
about
Elena.
Oh my god.
I mean, the way that they would just go for it made me like, oh, I guess we should all just go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cast is like really stacked with these like, like strong. I mean, Elena certainly is no exception of like being like a strong woman who's completely insane.
My character maybe has devolved into more insanity. Actually, I feel like she's less insane.
I think she's trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the other element of the movie that's
Sure.
more insane.
Yes.
But I think prison was really good for her. I think it was really a good place for her to find love. She found love in prison, which was nice for her. Yeah. I liked seeing that there was like even more edge with Stephanie. Like, you know, it was a lot of like oopsie jar in the first movie.
Yeah.
And like scene one, she
Well,
drops like fuck.
I also think that like I just can't clearly, as has already happened in this interview, I cannot stop myself from cursing. So it was really hard on the first movie to not just accidentally ad lib curse words. So I think Paul just knew like I can't do another movie where I just don't curse at all. But yeah, I mean, I think the Stephanie-Emily dynamic is similar in some ways, but it's like a slightly different flavor this time. It was hard.
Yeah,
It was tough.
really
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should do some pickup shoots, like some reshoots real quick before it comes out.
Or like a short film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I pitched that. It was I was like, for marketing, we should do a short film as like an intro to the film. They were like, the film has an intro. I was like, I think Capri is an important place that we need to be again.
Yeah, we need to return.
I tell my children we live there now. We don't, but I like to dream.
It was really unbelievable. I think that, you know, there's probably a reason that most productions don't shoot on Capri and just fake it. And Paul Paul is here's the thing about Paul and Capri. Paul is the king of Capri. If you go anywhere with Paul Feig, people are, I'm not joking, running out of shops like it's the opening of Beauty and the Beast, going like, Paulino! Like, he's the king of Capri. So I think that they were happier to have us there than they would normally, because why would a place that idyllic and lovely let a filthy circus people come and work there? So yeah, it was amazing, and also logistically really hard. But Paul was like, "No, this is what we're doing." But I think that's also because he's the king of Capri.
That's tricky. I mean, the most memorable.
I know, memorable is a loaded word.
It is.
I mean, I'll say like the very first day. It wasn't even day one. It was like day 0. We were like faking that it was like a skeleton crew, but it wasn't really a skeleton.
Like drones and helicopters.
It turned into a whole shoot day. We were just on like a vintage boat, and Michele was driving the boat. And me and Alex Newell in the back and Blake up front, and we were just being driven around Capri by beautiful Michele. So that was a great day. I'll remember it a long time.
I mean, not challenging, but the pool, I remember being like, oh no, it's actually was still quite cold in Capri, and I was like, this is gonna be really cold, and we're in a pool for a night shoot. It was like a bath. There were thousands of candles. It was like Romeo and Juliet, Baz Luhrmann's version.
I know. I did ask Paul, like one of the first questions I asked Paul when I got to Capri and realized like, oh, it's still really cold. And that's one of the first things up on the schedule. I was like, hey, Paul, is that pool heated?
I know, you feel so weird asking,
I know.
right? But you're like, I'm going to
And he was like,
shaking.
Anna, I wouldn't do that to you. It is heated. But so like he was checking the temperature of that pool for like a week because he was like, it has to be warm.
But sometimes like men's definition of a heated pool,
yeah,
like they tend to run warmer than women, is like not very warm. But it was like
awesome.
It was amazing. It was like a 9-page scene too. So you're like, we're gonna be all night. You're gonna be shaking. But it was really nice. So our most challenging scene was really lovely. I feel like this should just be like a slow zoom in as I stare, wondering like how to answer this question.
Good luck.
How did I prepare? I don't know how to speak about this if you haven't seen the movie. That's what I'll say. Once you've seen the movie, let's talk, and I'm sorry. Thanks.
Good dodge. Solid dodge.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously in the first movie, it's a bit like Alice in Wonderland, or she's through the looking glass, or whatever, literary expressions, etc. And she's, changed by that, obviously. And I like that when we meet her, she's like done well for herself, but she's in a real, like, she's having a real moment of like a crisis of faith in a sense, like doubting herself. And so it was interesting because it was like a good way to keep her as an underdog, but it also meant that like I had a little more abandon on this movie. Like everything didn't like just flatten me, I guess. And then obviously certain things happen, events unfold, and it becomes a lot more serious, and there's a lot more like real danger. But it was nice to have like, I think maybe the first like 15 minutes of the movie where I'm like, I don't know, here we go again, before it gets like, oh no, I might die. No, I mean, I think everybody can relate to the feeling that you're doing it wrong and you're getting it all wrong, and you're just trying so hard to be accepted and fit in, and feeling like, oh, I'm the person at this party who doesn't know like what to say and what to do and how to act. And luckily in real life, that's just normally in our heads and not the case. But for Stephanie, like it's all the time. So, you know, there's a lot of comedy in that. And yeah, I think that makes her very relatable. And then, you know, she does seem to find herself surrounded by murder and intrigue and espionage, etc.